Hey, it's Chris here today from Huckabones Equipment. In today's video, we're going to go over the #1 statement we hear from customers whenever they come through the door looking for sales is, I've been looking for a 25 horsepower tractor. What does Kubota have to offer? So in today's video, we're going to go over which one may be the one you may choose and why you may choose it, because there's lots of different offerings from Kubota. So let's skip right to it. You know, you've come to your local dealership and you've been blown away by their inventory and how much they have, and you're not really sure what you're looking at. All you know is that your friends have a couple of Kubotas and they've told them they're around 25 horsepower. Your farmer friend at work says, you know, you need 25 horsepower and no less. You're best to talk to the product specialist to kind of narrow down what you need. That product specialist, as soon as you walk through the door, is going to start grilling you with questions. Don't think that he's just doing this for fun. It's to kind of help him narrow down what you're going to want so he can give you some pricing. Some of the questions he's going to be asking you is, how much land do you have? What are some of the uses you're going to have for that tractor? You know, what's your primary use? What's some of the secondary uses you're going to have? Are you looking for a cab, non-cab? What kind of lift capacity are you going to need? If you need a backhoe, how deep do you have to go? What size of bucket are you looking for? Do you need a thumb? All that kind of idea. You know, up here in Canada, you deal a lot with snowblowers. Well, do you want a front snowblower, a rear snowblower? What kind of usage are you going to have for winter use? If you're going into the bush, how much clearance do you need? Is it just a every now and then kind of use, or are you going out there all the time? For cutting grass, I need a mower. How big of a mower? How much grass are you cutting? Are you looking for a drive over deck or just a standard deck? And at what size? So you can see lots of questions are going to come flying at you. Answer them as best you can. And now we're going to talk about, starting with the BX, is how you've answered some of those questions to why that particular unit might be geared towards yourself. Okay, so starting with the BX, line up in around that 25 horsepower. Just to kind of pretend I'm the customer and how I've answered those questions is, you know, #1 was, how much land do you have? I got about 5 acres. Most of it's cleared. I've got some trees in the back that I have a few trails through that I like to watch the deer in. After that, some of the primary and secondary uses, you know, I'm looking to mow my lawn with it. Basically, I'm looking for an all-around unit to keep my lawn clear, blow some snow with, daily, weekly maintenance, property maintenance. You asked me what kind of lift capacities I need. I'm not really sure. Again, no, I'm not really sure yet on a backhoe. I was kind of thinking about it, if I can get pricing both ways. But a very important one is, for me, is blowing snow with a front snowblower and mowing my lawn, and then just everyday uses with a loader. Then I'd like to get a price either way of a backhoe or not. So now let's jump back to the salesman, and I'm going to recommend to you a BX, and it's going to be either 23-2680 or a BX23S, depending if you want the backhoe, and I can price down why. You know, your front bucket, you can get skid steer quick attach or a pin on, depending if you ever want to take your bucket on or off. You know, they're 48 inches wide. You can get some nice cutting edges for the front to save on wear. Your lift capacities for the loader, going to be roughly 800 pounds. Hopefully that meets what you're looking to do with it. If you're looking for horsepower, you know, we got the 2680. It's really going to blow that snow a little bit more, really help with mowing that 5 acres that you have, or 3.5. And they also offer it in a 2380 if you're not looking for that extra horsepower, save a little bit of money. And then, you know, your operator stations are all pretty similar on that. If you're looking for a backhoe, then you're going to be recommended the BX23S and going to be priced that as well. And then if you're going back to the front snowblowers, you know, we got a few options that way. You either got the 54, 55 inch heavy duty or the standard 50 inch. And then for mower decks, you know, we got 54s or 60. If you really want to drive over deck, we have that, as well as the standard decks. So that's kind of playing both sides of that as to how you've answered and why you may be recommended a BX. So again, let's start off with pretending to be the customer and how I've answered some of those questions. You know, how much land do you have? Well, I've got roughly 5, maybe up to 25 acres. What are some of the primary uses and secondary uses I have? They're going to be very similar answers to what I had for the BX. You know, I'm looking for blow some snow, cut some grass, you know, some of that daily maintenance, some landscaping, stuff like that. At this point too, you know, I'm thinking about getting a couple animals. You know, I love my horses. I'm thinking of getting 1 or 2 of them. Currently help out my neighbor, and you know, we do everything by hand there, and it's really starting to hurt my back. So I'm starting to think of a first tractor, but you know, you've shown me the BX is not, I'm looking for something a little bit bigger. So you know, what can you show me on that end? So jumping back to me and the salesman, whenever you hear bigger, some of those questions that were answered is, you're going to be going to the B01 series. The B01 is going to be offered in either 23 or 26 horsepower, but it is a bigger tractor than the BX. So that's why mostly you're going to jump into this tractor. I love the features of the BX, but I just want it a little bit bigger. And that's the reason, like, whenever you start out front, here is your bucket. It either comes in a 54 or 60, and again, it comes skid steer, quick attach, or pin on. After that is your lift capacities, go up from 800 pounds to 1,000, especially if you got those round bales or square bales. Now you're able to lift them a lot easier. What really helps with those lifts is bigger tires, which also gives you more ground clearance. Maybe you're playing in the bush a little bit more now. Instead of just being once or twice a year, you're actually pulling out trees. You got that FX40 from Wallenstein on the back there. You're starting to use it more as a tractor than just an overgrown lawn tractor. So, it's got that easily removed loader, right from your seat, just like the BXs. Same with your mower decks, they got the 54 and 60. Whenever you get to the operator station, it does have some of the creature comforts, but actually the BX has a nicer operator station than the B01, a little bit more basic on the 01 series. Again, then whenever you move all the way back, your implements get bigger. Again, you've heard that now a number of times, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And that's whenever the 01 comes in, is whenever you're looking for something, you love the BX, but want something just a little bit bigger. And that's where the 01 really falls in. And again, at that point, some of the answers that you may have given of, you have a long driveway, I'm cutting 5 acres, I play in the bush, I like to put in some food plots, I really want to get a tiller and a set of discs. Well, at that point, if you're going to need more horsepower, then it'll be the B2601 than the B2301, but really that's going to be the choice of the customer at that point. Okay, so let's start off again pretending to be the customer and how I've answered some of those questions. So starting with land, I've got around 100 acres. I've got a few other tractors. They're open station, they're older. I'm looking for one deluxe tractor with a cab, really blow my snow. I'm not looking to cut any grass with it. I want something tractor loader backhoe that has one single seat. And I want the biggest frame size you have with that one single seat. Well, that's going to narrow you down to an LX. Again, as you can see, some of those questions answered they're bigger. Everything's bigger, whether it was the land size, what you're looking to blow snow with. The big one too is I'm looking for a factory cab. Again, is really going to narrow you down to the LX. Whenever you start out front on these, you get a 60-inch front bucket on it. It comes standard with the skid steer quick attach. So whenever you get up to this size of tractor, you can start oversizing things. So whenever you get to the bucket, yes, it is a standard 60-inch, being skid steer quick attach. You could potentially go up to the same loaders on the LO1 at 66, and not very deep 72, depending on your uses. And whenever you move a little bit further back, now we got bigger tires. Gets you more clearance. You actually have more options of tires too. Whenever you have the B01 and the BX, you're dealing with your turfs, your industrial, and now your new R14s. Now you can throw up into ags as well as oversizing things. So you can get the oversized R14s or industrial. That gets you actually up to the same clearance size, same tire size and clearances as what the LO1, the 2501 specifically is. We were talking about 25 horsepower Kubotas, but again, the LX actually bumps up to 33 if you're looking to get more horsepower than what you kind of thought about at the beginning. Heat and air conditioning, radio, all creature comforts in there, nice quiet. It's a very deluxe cab, and it is the smallest in the market from Kubota with that factory cab. So again, if you're looking for one with a backhoe with a one seat, well, you're more likely going to go with the SU if you don't want some of the creature comforts. Again, it's not going to have a very deluxe seat, no mid PTO for that mower, and then no tilt steering. In the open stations, you can get the 2610 or the LX 3310 Deluxe. So a few choices in the open station, a few choices in the cab at either 26 or 33 horsepower. And again, if you're looking to mow your grass, you can get a 60 or 72. And then with the backhoe, again, this is the biggest frame size you can go with a single seat. It's that one single seat, turns around out the back. Not available on the cab, of course. It's not big enough cab to turn around, so it is a secondary seat on the back of it. So big thing to harp on is, as you could see, is everything just a little bit bigger, again, on the LX. So it really comes down to those questions that were asked, and hopefully you answer them as truthfully as possible to get the tractor you're looking for. And I keep harping on that. But now let's jump over and talk about the L2501. So again, to start off with as being the customer and how I've answered some of those questions and why the 2501 may be recommended to you. Number one, land. How much land do you have? I've got anywhere from 25, 50, 75, 100 acres actually. I'm thinking about buying the neighbor's bush lot. So I'm going to be playing in there a lot. So I'm thinking of getting a skidding winch. Some of my primary uses, I'm going to spend a lot of time in the bush. I'm not really going to be looking to blow a whole lot of snow with it. If I am, I'm looking to do it on a budget with a rear snowblower. Actually, you know what? I'm looking to buy on a budget to start with. I'm looking for the best one with the best clearance, the highest horsepower I can get. I don't want emissions. I I think they add a lot of cost and don't provide a whole lot to me. So I want to keep high horsepower and stay away from those emissions. I love deer. I'm going to be building some food plots. You know, I'm going to be dropping some tillers in the ground, a set of discs. Not really thinking about a backhoe, but if I did, you know, it'd be kind of a secondary use. I'm not looking to mow grass. I want this to be a tractor, and I want to be able to do a lot with it, whether it be landscaping, bushwork, or potentially moving some earth around. So yeah. So whenever you answer those questions as a product specialist, that's kind of push you to the 2501. You may be recommended an LX as well, but again, it's kind of a deluxe tractor at virtually the same price as an L2501. Depending on the dealership, they're probably going to just put you right to a 2501, as that's what would be strongly recommended. As whenever you start out front there, you know, you're going to have like a 66-inch front bucket instead of a standard 60. After that, your lift capacity is going to be 1,200 pounds on the LA525 or the LA526. Now, whenever you get the tires, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be on industrials, but you do have a choice of Ags or Turf or the new R14s. After that is no mid PTO. So again, you're not going to be putting a mower deck on it. You're looking for clearances, and that's what this provides. You know, it's an economy tractor, so it is going to kind of take away from the operator station. Again, it does have that hump in the middle that's a little bit, can get in the way sometimes. It's got the very basic seat. It's very basic overall. You know, which keeps the cost down. Again, it is the biggest frame size you can go from Kubota without getting into the emissions. If you did want to get into the emissions, you know, the LO1 series or the new LO2 is going to provide you with either the 33 or 3901 and potentially even up to the 47 or 4802. So lots of choices there in this frame size. If you get to the backhoe, it is going to be a 2-seat. Again, it's not like the LX where it's a single, so you're going to go up to 2-seat, but it is the same backhoe, the BH77s. So going to be a great tractor. Really going to suit your needs as long as those questions were answered truthfully and the product specialist kind of narrowed you down to what you're looking for. Because the L2501 bulletproof tractor, awesome tractor. People buy it, love it, use it, but it isn't for everybody again. So if you have smaller land size or looking for a front snowboard, then this isn't the unit for you. So that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, hopefully it gives you a little bit of background knowledge before you go to your local Kubota dealership whenever you ask for a 25 horsepower Kubota and what are the offerings. Because as you can see, they come in 4 different frame sizes with a bunch of variations in between with different attachments and different capabilities. So again, a little bit of knowledge goes a long way. Hopefully I was able to help you out with that. If you did enjoy today's video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, please leave them down below. Thank you.